Hi guys, it's Daryl Amankwah. Welcome to today's video. So in today's video, I just want to talk about something that I'm extremely passionate about, something I've been talking about for so long, something that we don't also hear many people talking about, and it's very relevant in 2020. I mean, this year has been, an incredibly frustrating year in many ways, has been a negative year in many ways, and we all know about the distress which is going on in African communities all over the world, where there's a sense of inequality, there's a sense of unhappiness, not having the same opportunities, being discriminated against as Africans all over the world and in the diaspora. So today I just wanted to talk about, how as Africans we might be able to find a solution to this problem. We might be able to come together and make, Africa the place for us. And so I'm going to be talking about why Africa is the place to be for all Africans all over the world. Now, when I say Africans all over the world, I mean mainly Africans in diaspora, Africans who are not living in Africa, Africans who've had to migrate to other parts of the world for better opportunities or, just better lifestyles. And, this is something which has been happening for many, many generations. There's third generation Africans in the diaspora, there's first generation Africans in the diaspora, and we constantly see a sweep of people moving out of Africa to the West or to the diaspora for more opportunities. I mean, it's for various reasons. In some countries they've had, civil unrest. In other countries, people just want new opportunities. However, as an African myself, living in the UK for, over 10 years now, I've lived here and I've enjoyed the life here and I've had the opportunities in the UK. However, I've always known that Africa is for me. I've always gone back home frequently, just kept up with the development in Africa, kept up with what's going on, and just kept my roots. And there's always something special about Africa, for any African out there in the world. And today I just want to touch on some key things that I think are going to resonate with you if you're African, and also give you some ideas or some thoughts or some insight into what Africa is today and how we can make Africa better in the future. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is that for Africans, Africa is home. I know that most of us Africans have moved to other parts of the world and we've made a new life. We've made a new home. We've bought a house, we take our kids to school, we have jobs, and we believe that that is home. But for all Africans all over the world, Africa is home. There's just a sense of home when you arrive in Africa. There's a sense of home when you see people that are just like you, people that you can communicate with on all different levels, and there's just a sense of home when you arrive in Africa. I mean, a massive example is a great project that Ghana undertook last year in 2019, which was the year of return. And even though there were so many people who would not classify themselves as Africans, they might classify themselves as African Americans, for the first time going to Ghana and visiting, most of them said it just felt like home. We've never been here, but once we touched down, we felt at home. We saw people that looked like us. We saw people that related to us. We saw people that didn't discriminate against us. And most of these people have never been to Africa. So that's just the internal, sort of bond that Africans have with Africa. And it's just that feeling of home. Every time I personally go back to Africa, I feel like, wow, this is amazing. I feel relaxed. I feel like there's opportunities. I feel at home. I get on with everyone. I come across, even people selling stuff by the roadside. You can have a laugh and a smile with them. And that is what I mean by a sense of home. So, for me personally, I think that that is the most key reason why every African should believe that Africa is the place to be. No matter how, well you might be doing in the diaspora, which is something that, I can relate to, I just felt more at home. And being at home is a massive, massive, massive push for me to be happy, to enjoy my life, and to just wake up every day with a smile on my face. So as much as feeling at home is, the biggest reason why I believe that Africa is a place to be for Africans in the diaspora, the second thing, I know most people in the diaspora are going to say, what am I going to do when I go back to Africa? I've lived in the diaspora for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. I've built a life for myself. I understand the way things work in the West. What am I going to do when I get back home? And what I always say to them is opportunity. Africa is a continent of opportunity. There's so many developing countries in Africa, and that means that there's so much opportunity there for anyone within any field to make a life for themselves. You know, I can pick industries from sport to agriculture where there's so much to do, so much development to do, and that just creates opportunities for people who are open-minded, people who have had experience all over the world and seen things that they've, have been successful in the West. You can always take that stuff back home. Our sports industry, for example, and I'm a big sports fan, we don't have massive leagues, we don't have massive sports organizations as we see in the West. We don't have, teams that are global. All of that sort of stuff is something that every one of us can get into and see how we can push that further. Agriculture is massive. We know that there's so much land, in Africa where you can do anything from growing crops to rearing animals, anything that you want to do. There's land, there's opportunity, and the people there are willing to help. I think gone are the days where, Africans in the diaspora felt like they were separate from Africans living in Africa. Nowadays, when you go back home, and many of the developing countries, there are people that want to help people coming from the diaspora settle and help them to help make the countries a lot more, developed. So whatever ideas that you have, there are opportunities, and those opportunities, it might shock you to find out, are easier to succeed in than the opportunities in the West. Another thing which, personally I come across when I speak to Africans in the diaspora is many of them have lived here so long that they've actually started to believe the images in the media about their homes. People who've even lived in Africa for a good amount of time, people who've actually never been to Africa, but their parents are from Africa, they believe what they find on the media, where Africa is not developed, Africa is still poor, all this negativity. But I'm going to say to you guys, in 2019, 4 of the top 5 developing countries in the world were African countries. That is a massive, massive step forward. And gone are the days where, there was civil unrest in some countries. We still do have not perfect countries in Africa or not perfect leadership, but the development is coming. And as soon as we can get in there, be part of the development, that's when we're going to find the right opportunity. So what I'm saying to you guys is, don't sit there and think, Africa is third world, Africa has nothing to offer us. Africa is developing, the GDP is going up, the economy is rising, and the opportunities are endless. So, I just want to say that to give you guys a real understanding, a real insight into development. Development is there in all forms, from, water to sanitation to everything that you can think about is getting better in Africa. And that's a good step for, Africans to start thinking, well, we've got something back home, which is a work in progress. We've got something back home which has been developing over the last 4 or 5 years. So why can't we start to think about how we can help develop even more to create a home for us where we're going to feel the sort of love and equality that we want to feel. And like I said before, I know I've spoken about this over and over again, but Africa is the land of opportunity. Africa is the land of resources. Africa is massive. And something I'm going to say to you is that the statistics show that 30% of all the world's resources are within Africa. That is a massive amount of resources which are still sitting in the lands in Africa, waiting for you and I to capitalize on, you and I to develop, and you and I to help raise the profile of Africa. There's also gold and platinum, which are some of the most precious materials in the world, are found in Africa. There's still so much opportunity within those industries to help make those industries better, to help processing of gold, processing of platinum, and other raw materials which can be found in Africa. And the last thing I'm going to say is that 75% of the world's diamonds are found in Africa. That just shows you how much resource we have in Africa and how much potential there is in Africa. That's not what we always get told in the news. We always get told that, you know, pay £2 to help a struggling child, or, you know, there's been a civil unrest in one country, or there's been a disease. But there's so much positive stuff in Africa. There's so much opportunity, and Africans all over the world need to start opening their minds to that, need to start educating themselves a bit more, need to start going back home, visiting back home, seeing the development, seeing how far Africa has come, and seeing the future that Africa has ahead of it. So I just want to say to you guys that there's so much to do out there. You know, living in diaspora and feeling a sense of inequality, feeling a sense of unfulfillment. You cannot live the rest of your life feeling that way. You have to do something about it. You have to take charge. You have to think about, where is really my home? Where can I make a difference? Where can I take all these skills I've learned, which are not appreciated in the West, and take it back home, start to educate other people, start to educate people without the knowledge I have, start to help the economy, start to help develop infrastructure. There's so much that we can do back home in Africa, but we always find ourselves in the West fighting the wrong causes. You know, in my opinion, there's so much injustice in the world with, you know, Africans and minorities, and that is something that is yet to be sorted out. But something that we can do, which is taking ownership and not waiting, you know, for institutions to make massive changes, which they haven't made in 50, 100 and 150 years, is that we can go back home. We can start to research our homes. We can start to visit our homes. We can start to get in touch with, you know, who we are, our identity, understand our culture, understand the development, and understand that home is where the heart is, and our home is in Africa. So my message to all Africans all over the world, in the diaspora, if you're feeling a sense of unfulfillment, if you're feeling a sense of inequality, if you're feeling a sense of, I don't even speak to my neighbors, I don't get along with many people, and I want to go back home, I want to have opportunities, I want to live a fulfilled life, I want you to know that change is coming, and change is here now in Africa, and there's so much for us to develop and so much for us to work on as Africans within our homes in Africa. So, I mean, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I know that it's a topic that, you know, many people don't talk about. Someone that inspires me a lot to talk about this as well is Akon, who's you know, an African American who's had a great career in, you know, the music industry, but he keeps saying to Africans all over the world, let's go back home. There's something special there. He's got projects in Africa which are doing great, and we need more like-minded people back home in Africa trying to make a massive, massive change. I mean, if you guys are inspired in any way, touched by this, I would say, you know, start to do your own research. Don't just take my word for it. Do your own research. Book a flight rather than going to, you know, a holiday in Spain or wherever in the world you want to go on holiday. Book a flight, go back home to Africa. Just start to embrace it. Start to understand where we are and where Africa needs to go, and start to plan, how can I make change? How can I make an impact? You know, that's all I wanted to talk about today. And if you do like this video, you like this content, I want you to support this channel, you know, by subscribing, doing the notification stuff, and liking, sharing it, and make sure that you keep supporting this channel, because the content I have coming for you guys is going to be something that you're going to enjoy. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next video.